Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and welcome to another GTA discussion video where I'm going to be talking a little bit about the future of GTA. This is going to be another one of those sort of rambling videos where I just talk freely about my thoughts. And the reason that I've decided to make a video about this is because recently we've seen a lot of games come out, a lot of other games come out that are very, very popular. So, you know, Fallout 4, Black Ops 3, Star Wars Battlefront, Need for Speed. A lot of reasonably big games that have been sort of pulling people away from GTA, which that was always going to happen. You know, this game is 2 years old now, over 2 years old, so it was always going to be the case that eventually there would be, you know, games that would drive people away from the game. But I think in general for GTA Online as a whole entity, it's one of those things that because everybody has it, you can always just jump back on and have a bit of fun. Regardless of what you're doing, whether you're just jumping on with a few friends to do some heists or jumping in a few race playlists or something like that, it's in general one of those games that even if it's not being played regularly, it's always going to be there to just, you know, jump on and have a bit of fun. But what does that mean for sort of racing on the game when it comes to racing regularly and racing events and all that kind of stuff? Because we're so used to now having the idea of racing on GTA pretty much all the time. You know, a lot of people who probably watch these videos and in my crew and all that kind of stuff just have spent most of the time playing GTA over the last 2 years, racing and doing that sort of thing. So what does the future hold for that? Well, for me personally, it's been quite a while since I've raced properly on GTA, and that's just because of time constraints. You know, when you're making videos, I probably spend more time making videos about the game than I do actually playing the game, and I can't remember the last time I played GTA sort of properly just for the sake of playing it, not on a stream, because there's just other games to play and I don't have all that much time. You know, when you're spending 8 hours testing vehicles for a top speed testing video, another hour working out those top speeds, another hour on top of that sorting out all the footage and editing the video, then recording and rendering it, and that just becomes one video. When you make that sort of decision to do that, it becomes quite a difficult thing to then pick up the game and just play for the sake of playing, because you're already spending all of your time on the game doing pretty mundane things when it comes to testing. Now, that's a decision that I've made, that's a choice that I've made, but that is kind of the reason why I just sort of don't really play the game anymore as much as what I used to, certainly in terms of racing and just jumping on and participating in a few racing playlists. And that's why I would say my skill level has also decreased in that respect as well. You know, I'm always making mistakes in races. When I do races on streams, I'm certainly not on the pace of the top guys because I'm just not doing it. Now, recently on a couple of streams, I've started to host a few races and gone into that more serious racing aspect again, you know, going back to what we used to do in terms of proper racing and just sort of concentrating on what I'm doing. And this race happened quite a while ago that you're watching on the screen, but it's sort of an example of that and what GTA racing can be. Just having a good battle all the way through, always very close, exchanging positions, all that kind of stuff. And recently it's made me miss it a little bit. So when I've participated in these races on a stream that have been very good races and back and forth between people and doing some proper racing, it has made me miss it. And I think that those of us who enjoy racing on GTA more regularly, eventually that feeling will come regardless, and sometimes you've got to have a bit of a break from something like this and not necessarily do it as much for a certain period of time, to then come back and appreciate just how good it is and just what you were doing. So I think from my personal perspective, you know, I'm going to be continuing with all the testing videos and continuing making videos for the game, and a lot of my time is taken up by that testing and by that by Also the Broughy Verified testing as well, testing out those tracks. But I think once that Broughy Verified series is probably done, there's going to be a sort of a selection of very, very good racing circuits. And for me, I think that will bring me back into regular racing on GTA, even if it's not on a stream, even just jumping on just to do some racing, and you know, enjoy the experience for what it is, because racing on GTA is very, very good. You know, it's difficult to find a game like this that gives you such a good racing experience from a high level perspective, where you can race at a high level in such a variety of different ways, such a variety of different tracks, different car setups, all that kind of stuff. You know, recently we did a race on a stream with all stock vehicles, stock supercars, and the T20 and the Osiris weren't allowed, and it was really interesting because the top 4 positions were covered by 4 different cars, and I was using an adder and did pretty well. It just, you have so much variety with the game to keep it fresh. But having said that, you know, eventually everything does become a bit stale and a bit boring, because when you do everything that you can possibly do, it becomes a little bit more difficult to get some enjoyment out of those things again. And that's where I think I would like to see some more innovations from Rockstar in racing. I've talked about this in previous videos when it comes to specifically multi-class or open class racing, where you can just use any car in a race. That would be a huge change to breathe some new life into it. And also what I mentioned before about relay races that they've already implemented in other game modes, that kind of stuff. I do think that it would really breathe some new life into the game, and that's what's needed, beyond just us in the crew creating events and doing that kind of stuff. And you know, events still happen in the game, and racing events are always going on in the crew. So it's not as if the game is dead in terms of racing or anything like that, but it's just a case of what can we do, you know, for the future. What's going to be part of this game for the future, and what does this game have in to offer us that will continually make us come back to it, rather than be taken away by all of these new games that are a lot of fun and totally brand new. So yeah, I mean, I've often talked about this in the past when it comes to the actual the way that I think Rockstar should go with new releases of GTA. I think that personally what I would like to see is do the same thing that they did for the 3D generation, where they had GTA 3 and then they had sort of, you could say spin-offs, but they were full games in their own right, with Vice City and San Andreas. I would very much like to see the same sort of thing with this generation, where they've got GTA 5 and then they maybe make GTA San Fierro and GTA Las Venturas as 2 different games based on very similar, you know, physics engines and all that kind of stuff. Like Vice City was very similar to GTA 3, as was San Andreas in terms of the physics and the programming and all that kind of stuff. But obviously little improvements here and there, like those games showed. And when it comes to GTA Online, just completely update GTA Online with all those improvements and include those new cities. So you would have San Fierro to go to. You can create tracks in San Fierro. All of your cars and your GTA Online character could transfer over. You can skip between San Fierro and Los Santos if you want to do that, and join different lobbies for different cities. The same again when a Las Venturas game comes out. And I would like to see a full proper game based on these things, rather than just expansions like we saw with GTA 4, you know, The Lost and the Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony. I would like to see a sort of a proper full game based around those things, rather than just expansions. But in terms of GTA Online, I think that would breathe a lot of new life into the game. Even just having somewhere new to explore is something that would bring me back to the game so much. Because I think, you know, once you've explored all of what Los Santos has to offer, there's not really a lot left. And this is something that I've experienced by going through the hundreds and hundreds of tracks that were submitted to Broughy Verified. A lot of them are very, very similar, because there's only a limited amount of space that you can use in the map. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. You know, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the future of GTA, just to give you a little bit of an update, because people do keep asking me. Don't ask me about the Broughy Verified stuff. You know, when it's ready, it will be ready. I can't get it out any quicker than what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to sift through all of the tracks as much as I can. We had over nearly, I think, 350 sort of submissions, so it's been a lot to go through, and I have had some help to do it, but there's still a long way to go. So, you know, don't ask me about it. It will be here when it's here. But when it does come, we're going to have a lot of very, very good tracks to bring us hopefully back to GTA racing, and hopefully by that point Rockstar may have implemented some new features that will breathe some extra life into the racing on this game, because it is very advanced and it's a lot of fun when you do it properly, as you've probably been seeing in this video. You know, this was one of those rare moments where I didn't make a mistake all race, and that doesn't happen very often. So yeah, it's when things go well and you're enjoying your racing, it can be just a great game, and the variety that it allows. I just wish that we could continue doing it even more, and Rockstar would give us more tools to allow us to have the racing experiences that we want and breathe even more life into the game. So that's my thoughts on it. I've heard that we're going to be having some more updates soon, and obviously that's something that New Gen seems to be allowing. You know, now that they've focused on New Gen, we seem to be having more regular updates and significantly better updates as well, with a lot more included in them. So yeah, that could be something that continually brings new life into the game as well. But ultimately, at the moment, with there being a lot of other games coming out, it seems like people are starting to get pulled away a little bit from GTA, which is completely understandable. So let me know all your thoughts down below. What do you think about the future of GTA, and maybe racing in particular and specifically? Yeah, I'd be really interested to hear what you guys think of down in the comments section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. The testing videos will be back very soon as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.